Well, as much of the focus of Disney is on Disney Plus, and obviously the theme parks make the majority of the money for the company, one aspect of the company that really was the cornerstone of it for a long time was the TV side. And that is not one that I would say is a growing market, as we talk about people all the time cutting the cord, going to streaming, and just going away from traditional TV, whether that's to streaming services, whether it's YouTube or other platforms that people, especially children, are watching in place of cable and Disney-owned properties nowadays. We have an article here from the Hollywood Reporter that is talking about why Disney is shrinking its TV kingdom. So I figured let's read through this and give some thoughts on it. So that's what we're going to do. So hi, I'm Jared with Capture the Magic. And again, this is from Hollywood Reporter, why Disney is shrinking its TV kingdom. It says, after scrapping ABC's signature, Disney is doubling down on hit-making mainstay 20th TV while continuing to offload costs and staff. The Disney's decision to shut down its ABC signature TV studio marks the second such move by a media conglomerate in the past 2 months. It's another sign of the contraction-minded times, but also an echo of a move Disney made 4 years ago in the wake of its purchase of 21st Century Fox's entertainment assets for $71.3 billion. ABC Signature, formerly ABC Studios, was shuttered October 1st. The reorganization, which also includes a merging of scripted development teams at ABC and Hulu, resulted in about 30 layoffs and renders 20th Television as Disney Television Studios' primary provider for both its own outlets and outside buyers. It follows a similar move by Paramount Global in August, which the company closed Paramount Television Studios and folded its existing shows and development into CBS Studios. The larger Disney empire has other studio assets as well. FX Productions, as its name suggests, supplies FX with programming for its linear channels and Hulu. Onyx Collective has made several series for Hulu and Disney+. Those two units, however, produce almost exclusively in-house programming for Disney, whereas 20th sells to all comers. It has series at CBS, Netflix, and Showtime, in addition to Fox animated stalwarts The Simpsons, Family Guy, and Bob's Burgers, which all predate the Disney-Fox merger. Based on volume alone, it's no surprise that 20th TV would be the last title card standing. Disney, like Paramount 2 months ago and other legacy companies in the current business climate, is seeking to streamline operations with an eye toward consistent profits in streaming. Combining the Hulu and ABC development teams in a decision announced in conjunction with the closing of ABC Signature is another step toward that corporate goal, though in both cases it means fewer places for writers and producers to pitch ideas. I actually think that's not a bug, that's a feature. So if you look at the writer's strike, they obviously are going to get more money for things that, the writers got more money. They also worked it in where it used to be when you pitched a show, part of going and pitching a show, you didn't get paid for that. Now, obviously, if your show got picked up, you got a pilot, like you would start getting paid. But they worked it in now where even the pitches, these writers are getting paid. So you kind of knew once that happened that the studios were not just going to eat that, increased cost. They were going to do other things to, trim down the writers. And I think this is another example of maybe not the sole reason they're doing it, but it's just going to rapidly increase the, that thought process, which is we don't want to pay as many writers out there because we have to pay them more. So they're, combining, different departments with one to try and streamline things and really pay less money. I think that's probably a lot of this. Disney has also been here before and not that long ago. After the merger with Fox, the newly combined company had not 3, but 4 studios, ABC Studios and its subsidiary ABC Signature, along with 20th TV and Fox 21, which produced Homeland, The Americans, and Sons of Anarchy. Those are all pretty decent shows. ABC Studios and ABC Signature Studios united under the name ABC Signature, and Fox 21 became a new iteration of Touchstone TV in August of 2020. That arrangement lasted less than 4 months. In December of that year, Fox 21 and Touchstone were absorbed into 20th TV, and then from the folding of a smaller studio into the larger one, to a combination of Hulu and ABC operations, along with the departure of a studio head, the details looked very much as they do now. Even the executive memos announcing the changes read as similar. Today we are announcing some important organizational changes that will bring our linear and streaming creative teams together and establish a one-stop shop for our creative partners. This is designed to maximize one of our distinct advantages, which is the ability to launch content on both linear and streaming. And the changes we are announcing today are in service of 3 goals: right-sizing our organization, streamlining functions across our studios and original content teams, and strengthening our partnerships with the extraordinary creators who call Disney Television Studios their home. So This isn't a surprising thing given, linear TV is definitely a shrinking demographic. And obviously, all of these studios have started looking at streaming, and Disney's heavily invested in streaming and really wants that to work. And one of the reasons they really got into streaming is because the TV side is shrinking. People were cutting the cord. And that's also, not only did they all see Netflix out there and wanted to be the next Netflix, they also understood, this TV side is shrinking. They're cutting the cord to go to Netflix. Like, we need to get in on this on some level. So, Disney Plus, Paramount, these other ones launched their own streaming services. So I think what you're seeing out of Disney is that streamlining, because it's becoming less and less of a need for the TV side. And obviously they want to push it to the streaming side. So now they're just basically going to become this singular thing that you can stream it, and it's also on the TV side. But they're trying to, first off, I think the main thing is they're trying to save money, because one of the issues with Disney, on top of, you can make the argument about the movies, a lot of them have not been good. I had a good summer this past summer with Deadpool, Wolverine, and Inside Out 2. But a lot of their issues outside of just making movies, here lately that haven't gone over very well, is the fact that they're expensive. So everything that Disney tends to make costs somewhere north of $250 million to make, which means for it to be profitable, let's say at the box office, or even their Disney Plus shows have been, the Acolytes now reported over $230 million, likely to show a higher budget for that one. But on the movie side, once you're at 250, you throw in the marketing budget, basically to break even at the box office, it needs to make somewhere around $600 to $700 million after you have your split with the theaters. So it's basically setting up all these movies where they almost have to make $1 billion to really make money. And, long-term, sustainably, they need to bring those costs down. And this perhaps could be some of that as well, trying to bring the cost down, which I think a lot of it is this middle management, a group of people that just get involved in things. It's not the creators. It's just this group that, you gotta have somebody that watches over this and approves this. And I think maybe that's them trying to trim down on those inflated costs that they have. But I'm not surprised to see this. I think we'll probably continue to see this, as well as, again, cable and traditional TV are, slowly basically going away as, streaming, and you got YouTube and people like on-demand type of content. So I think we'll continue to see more of this, and as it shifts more and more as a singular focus almost on streaming, and then, TV probably will never go away in that sense, but it'll just be an afterthought and say, oh, it's streaming on here, but it'll be on TV also after the fact as well. But that's I think that's basically what's going on. I think most of it is a way to save some money, obviously, and to, basically they just want to concentrate on the streaming side, because that's where they see the most money as well. They've had different carriage disputes with different carriers, and, Disney's trying to charge premium prices to these cable carriers that are already dealing with people cutting the cable. So they're trying to make money on the streaming and also on the other side, but they also know that that's the other side is shrinking. So I think on some levels, they're trying to basically make as much money as they can in that window that they have. But I think long term, it's pretty, a shaky ground when it comes to Disney and like the streaming and TV side, because, again, we've talked about before, kids now are watching YouTube and other things. They're not watching the Disney content like kids, like, say, in the 90s did. It's not as prevalent. And I think Disney is really struggling with figuring out what they're going to look like going into the future and where they really stand. And, this is them, I think, trying to shift more toward the digital side. But I do have some questions in terms of how this is going to work, and, what they're really going to be able to do to combat the, again, the kids watching YouTube and all these other platforms. And so I think the way that Disney, used to always do well with the younger demo, it's not as much the case now. And I think this is something that they're going to try, on top of, shrinking the amount of people they pay and try and streamline things. That's something they're going to have to deal with in terms of, I guess you could say, an identity for what they want to do going forward. But either way, I just thought this was an interesting article that just kind of shows more of what we've already been seeing, which is them just streamlining things, focusing more on streaming as the TV side continues to shrink more and more, basically almost seemingly yearly. But on some level, you have to wonder what this looks like in 5 to 10 years as well. But either way, though, that's going to be it, though, for this video. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, as we do lots of coverage here of theme parks and pop culture. And let us know in the comments, what do you think about all this? And until next time, we will see you later.